The Superior Spartans handed Duluth Marshall their first loss all year long in an upset yesterday. Now the Spartans advance to the semifinals where they took on the Mankato West Scarlets. Senior Ryan Pettingill getting the start between the pipes against the Scarlets' Mason Schreiber. And Mankato West senior goalie was tested early and often, making save after save in that first to keep us scoreless. Now in the second, Spartans' Ryan Nelson gets a fast break. He's tripped, but no call. Mankato West goes the other way. It's freshman Brooks Bockel slamming it home for the icebreaker. The Scarlet go up 1-0. And that's when their netminder absolutely stood on his head with a little bit of luck, like right here. Superior either had 8 or 9 power plays, including a 5-minute major. Still couldn't crack the code. Schreiber makes all 34 saves for the shutout win. Mankato West advances to the finals with a rare 1-0 win over Superior. And the Scarlet will either play Owatonna or the hosting Duluth Denfeld Hunters. And the home team had the first great scoring chance tonight. Senior Mason Kingsley's spinorama denied by that kick save and a beauty from the Huskies netminder. And Owatonna struck quickly tonight. Junior Caleb Ringhofer going top cheddar to open the scoring, give those Huskies the early lead. Time ticking down now in the first period. That big shot from the Huskies stopped by Denfeld's Gabe Miner at the buzzer. And it was a huge stop because the Hunters then rally with 3 straight goals as they advance to the championship game with a 3-1 win over the Huskies. And that title game tomorrow afternoon at 3:30 p.m. from the Heritage Center. And in other tournament action around the Northland, the Duluth East Greyhounds fell to East Central 4-3 in overtime. The CEC Lumberjacks out in St. Cloud tonight taking down the hosting Crush with a crushing 7-0 victory. And the Proctor Rails advancing to the finals of the Bill McGann Classic with a 5-0 shutout win over Minnesota River.